So in my last video, I failed to go on a long tangent about what my actual thoughts were on American foreign policy. And in that void of actually stating my opinion, rushed in certain commenters who would like to inform me about what, in reality, to the average person in America is common knowledge, and assume that I hold some opinion radically different than them, and that I am some sort of jingoist Bush supporter. And of course, I'm not at all unfamiliar with these sorts of miscommunications on YouTube. I've been doing this long enough where I know, pretty much expect this sort of thing to happen, and to a certain extent I did expect this to happen. After rewatching the video, I just didn't feel like refilming or adding more or sitting around double thinking everything I say, because I have better things to do. But given that I did receive several comments on the subject, I'll just say this: it's not really my job either to inform people about public knowledge, nor is it my job to go blasting my opinion on everybody else. And I guess to a certain extent I fell for the polarization which Ali presents in this video. My only point is this: if the United States of America wanted to destroy the world, as Ali claims it does, it would be no obstacle, given America's actual military resources. But the world is slightly more complicated than that, and these threads of history go back further than even the existence of America. You want to talk about the American Empire? Well, we learned it from our mother. I think that these simplistic views of good and evil are the stuff of Hollywood action movies and cartoons, and that's why I put up the pictures of G.I. Joe and of Team America, because there's a scene in Team America where, you know, the celebrities are complaining about the way which Team America acts and how they're going around destroying everything, and there's very much echoes of that in Ali's little speech. And for me, when I watch Ali, even though he claims that he's defected to this other civilization, this more enlightened civilization that is going to sweep in after the collapse of the West and show us really how to live, it does also seem straight out of American culture. He hasn't actually escaped the thought system of the West as he has the pretension of doing. He's just talking like it's some sort of, like reality is some sort of movie. But on the subject of movies, there's a scene in the original Men in Black in which Will Smith's character asks Tommy Lee Jones' character why they don't tell people about the existence of aliens. And Tommy Lee Jones basically responds by saying that a person is smart and intelligent. People are stupid and panicky, essentially. And I think that when you're dealing with issues like war, that collectively as a species, as rational as individual members may be, we are collectively irrational, and there's not much you can do about that besides trying to bring rationality and looking into things more deeply and calming down and attempting to be more objective before doing something like going to war. I suppose it would be possible if we could somehow make every single member of society rational, that the outcomes of the world on a mass scale would be rational, but they're not. I think we are a collectively irrational species, and in terms of the war, we can talk about the right or wrongs of America's recent foreign adventures, but it's also, we should bear in mind the bloodlust that occurred after September 11th and how that motivated things. Now, of course, 9/11 conspiracy theorists will say, well, this was all part of a calculated government plot to blah, 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 blah. But that bloodlust, that desire for revenge, has a lot more to do with what happened in the last decade than utilitarian value systems or capitalism, which is the narrative which Dawa Films presents. If the United States was in the business of punishing people merely for harming the economy, then SEAL Team 6 would have been landing in Connecticut and pulling bankers out of their mansions and dropping them off the side of aircraft carriers. What I do not intend to do is jump on one side against another side. I think that in order to resolve these problems, we have to look, human beings collectively have to look at all other human beings as a part of their group, as a part of their tribe, and have a broad human solidarity. Now, of course, somebody like Ali is completely against any sort of humanist philosophy, but this is a perfect example of which he has chosen a side. He has chosen an enemy side from which to polarize himself and define himself against. And that reduces the world into this simplistic black and white, I can't wait till my side triumphs over your side. And that really makes him no better than the people that he claims to hate, be it Al-Qaeda or America. It's the same narrow-minded, dualistic thinking. Every human being on this planet is a human being. Their ideologies, their belief systems, their cultural values are all malleable. They're not something that are fixed and permanent. They're just the ideas that they've been learned. I speak English because that's what my parents spoke to me, but with effort I could learn to speak other languages. So could any other human being. We are not going to fix the world or end war by playing this my side is better and more righteous than your side. And we're also not going to fix the world by saying, well, you're an American, so it's your responsibility to stop the American military-industrial complex, and you should be giving money to somehow stopping that instead of to AIDS, and you're bad and you're evil and you don't realize what's going on in your own country, and you're just off distracted with these trivial, decadent pursuits, and helping AIDS victims, that's trivial compared to American military dominating the world. I mean, this is just such a gross oversimplification of the world that, as I implied in my last video, it's really worthy of the movies. It's almost not a point truly worth dissecting and addressing, and that's kind of sad that we can't actually come onto this forum and talk seriously without assuming that the other person automatically holds a radically different point of view than you do just because they fail to fully extrapolate their position. It's amazing how many people claim to be against conflict and yet are so determined and eager to jump in the fray and be on one side or the other side. In reality, that's exactly what perpetuates conflict. I see a contradiction between claiming that you want to end human conflict and then choosing a side which is going to be the victorious side against the others who must be conquered and ended in order to achieve peace. I think that looking to our common humanity and stopping the dehumanization of other people in our minds and recognizing their own humanity and their own right to live would go much further in resolving human conflict than any sort of my side is better than your side cartoonish polarized view of the world that people like Ali present.